Welcome to Reddit Echoes, the place where real stories from Reddit are told authentically with deep emotions and sometimes leave you reflecting profoundly. In today's modern world, workplace relationships are not just ordinary love stories. They can turn into nightmares where trust is betrayed, hearts are broken, and careers can be destroyed in the blink of an eye. Today I'll share with you the story of a woman who sacrificed a lot, enduring some of the hardest days when her romantic relationship intertwined with work ended painfully. This story is not just about love. It's a valuable lesson about boundaries, choices, and the consequences of wrong decisions. Let's dive in together. Story 1. I chose to keep the dog even though my pregnant wife got bitten. A tense family battle. Hi everyone, my name is Min, 32 years old. I want to share with you a story I'm going through, one that feels like I'm caught between two almost impossible choices, between my beloved wife who's about to give birth and the dog I consider a family member. The beginning. We've had this dog for over 2.5 years. It was a gift from my mother-in-law, a little baby, that I love very much. The dog is a healer breed, a bit unpredictable in temperament, but I always believed I could manage it. Since adopting it, I've tried my best to care for and train it, seeking help from trainers to correct its misbehaviors. But life is never that simple. The first bites. My wife was bitten twice, each time making the atmosphere at home extremely tense. The first time she was vacuuming in the living room, when the dog suddenly lunged and bit her lightly on the back of her leg. She was in pain, her eyes squinting, and I just stood there unable to stop it in time. The second time was worse. My wife took something the dog wasn't allowed to play with, and it bit her hand. This time she was hurt more, with a few scratches bleeding. I quickly took her to the doctor and started investigating the cause. The vet said the dog might have a hormonal imbalance due to uncontrolled breeding, possibly from inbreeding from the Kentucky lineage that my mother-in-law's family had gotten it from. The vet prescribed medicine and said they would continue monitoring. No improvement, uncontrollable behavior. Despite training and medication, the dog retained its wild nature. It kept jumping on tables when no one was looking and growled when disciplined. Recently, the dog has shown even more dangerous signs. It escaped from the car while we were driving, ran away for almost 4 hours, making my wife furious because she missed an important prenatal appointment, an ultrasound to find out the baby's gender. Major family conflict. My wife told me bluntly, "You have 6 months to find a better trainer or get rid of the dog. When our baby is born, you can't let the dog keep hurting me and the baby. She's pregnant with our first child, and I understand her worry and exhaustion. I still can't agree to give up the dog. It's been part of my life for over 2 years, bringing me a lot of joy and love. I don't want to lose it easily." Tension reaches its peak. That evening, we had a huge argument, shouting back and forth, causing the dog to panic and run away. My wife decided to pack her things and go stay at her mother's, texting that she won't come back until the dog is gone. I tried to find solutions, seeking new trainers, consulting vets for new medication, even asking my wife to join me to witness the training process. But her anger and fear were too big. Advice from friends and family. My friends are divided. Some say I should understand and empathize with my wife, that nothing is more important than her and the baby's safety. Others say I should protect my love for the dog because it's part of the family and I have the right to keep it. My mother-in-law advises her daughter to be patient and maybe compromise a little with me, while my own mother sides with me, saying I shouldn't give up so easily on something I love. Fears about the future. I fear one day the dog will truly harm my wife and baby. But I also fear that if I let it go, I'll lose a big part of my life. Now, amid endless tension and cold silences at home, I feel stuck and desperate. Current mood. I'm writing this story to share with everyone, hoping to get advice from those who have experienced similar situations or who have experience raising pets while keeping family happiness. I really want to find a way to keep both, neither letting my wife and child get hurt, nor losing the dog that I love. Open conclusion. I'm in a fierce internal battle. I don't know how long it can last, or if there's any win-win solution for my family. What do you think? If you were in my place, what would you do? Story 2. An affair exposed. My life turned upside down when his wife showed up at work. Hello everyone, my name is Lynn, 28 years old. I want to share a personal story that still leaves me shocked and confused about what happened recently. How it all began. I work at a large hospital where everyone knows each other despite different roles and positions. Among them is a man named Hi, 35, married, but also someone I had a secret relationship with. The fateful encounter. We dated a few times over about a year. At first I didn't know he was married, but once I found out I tried to back away. Yet the relationship continued secretly. I knew it was wrong, but when caught up in emotions, it's hard to stop immediately. Exposure at work. One afternoon while I was working, Hui's wife Tui suddenly appeared at the hospital. At first I didn't think much since the hospital is big and many people come to visit patients. But then she approached me, eyes full of anger and words she couldn't hold back. I can't accept you sneaking around behind my husband's back. Who do you think you are to ruin my family's happiness? She didn't shout, but her voice was loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, making me feel like I was under a spotlight, scrutinized and judged. Feeling hurt and humiliated, I didn't know how to react other than avoiding eye contact. People started paying attention, and I knew this was going to be a big deal. Hi was also there trying to calm his wife down, but clearly the situation was out of control. I asked to leave work early, went to my car and cried alone, overwhelmed by embarrassment and shame. Consequences at work. The next day, HR called me in. I knew immediately I was going to be punished for my wrongdoings in the company's eyes. They told me that having an affair with a married colleague violated hospital policies and demanded I resign or face termination. I couldn't believe it, emotionally hurt, and now at risk of losing the job I loved. Chaos in the relationship. While I was suffering, he kept texting apologies and promising to visit to talk, but those meetings became increasingly tense. He faced divorce filings from his wife and angry children with a shattered family. He called me lamenting his losses, but that only confused and angered me. I couldn't understand how someone could cry over losing his wife, yet still want to be with me. Guilt and inner conflict, I felt like the woman being used, yet couldn't stop loving him. Whenever I thought of ending it, I felt empty and heartbroken. But I also couldn't accept being the homewrecker. Thinking about the future, I'm at a crossroads, unsure whether to continue or let go to find myself again. I want a peaceful life, but everything seems to spiral into more chaos and tears. Conclusion. I share this story so those going through similar situations know they're not alone. And to warn anyone about to enter such a situation to think carefully before diving in. Do you have any advice for me? What should I do to free myself from this turmoil? Story 3. When a nap breaks a marriage, a new mom exhausted and a husband who only knows how to sleep. Hello everyone. I'm 28 years old, and the story I'm about to share will surely make you feel empathy, frustration, and sometimes even want to cry with me. This is a real-life experience from my marriage, a story about exhaustion, loneliness, and the distance one can feel right within their own home. Life before the baby arrived. Before the baby came, my husband and I lived happily. He worked from home. I was a new mom taking care of our 3-month-old daughter. And though I sometimes felt tired, I believed we could overcome any challenge together. The extreme exhaustion of a new mother. Since the baby was born, I haven't had a full night's sleep. Every night was a chain of sleepless hours, feeding, soothing her back to sleep, cleaning up after spit-ups. I felt like a machine that never tires, but deep inside I was more exhausted than ever. Feeling abandoned at the hospital. While I was in the hospital, he went home to sleep comfortably on a soft bed while I struggled alone with discomfort and loneliness. I had to call him many times just to get him to wake up, and that wasn't the first time I felt like a stranger in my own marriage. Pressure and chaos after coming home. When we returned home, things didn't get better. He complained about lack of sleep while still managing to sleep soundly while I was completely worn out. House chores and baby care piled on me, and he was irritated because he didn't get real rest. The fight over walking the dog. One day, almost exhausted, he asked me to walk the dog, even though I had just woken up from a feeding session at 2:30 a.m. I told him honestly that I just wanted a good sleep, but he got upset, angry, and locked himself in his office. I broke down crying in utter loneliness, feeling like I was fighting everything on my own. Conflict outburst and hurtful words. That night, when he still refused to come out, I couldn't hold back and shouted that I hated him, even spoke about divorce in despair. He apologized and promised to change, but I no longer felt love, only pain and hopelessness. Change and new hope. After the tense talk, he started to realize my situation. We agreed that he would take responsibility for walking the dog, and my mother-in-law was no longer allowed to come over because her attitude added to my stress. We began planning marriage counseling, and I would go for therapy to regain balance. Conclusion: I still love my husband and hope our marriage can be saved. But I also know that without real change from both sides, all efforts might be in vain. The life of a new mother is far from easy, and understanding and sharing are more necessary than ever. My story is the voice of many mothers and wives who struggle under pressure that sometimes their partners just don't realize. Thank you for listening. If you find this story helpful or want to hear more, follow Reddit Echoes so you don't miss out on more real-life emotional stories. Story 4. Losing my job because of an office affair when love turns into a nightmare. Hello everyone, I'm Lynn, 32 years old, and the story I'm about to share is a painful experience about love betrayal and the unforeseen consequences when romantic relationships mix with the workplace. A secret beginning. He and I met at work where we were in different departments. Although we knew office relationships were discouraged, we couldn't resist our feelings and started seeing each other secretly after hours. At first, everything seemed fine, but the secrecy gradually became a burden and cracks started to appear. The scandal is exposed. Soon after, his wife found out the truth. She showed up at my workplace during office hours, putting pressure on me, threatening me, and verbally attacking me right in front of my colleagues. I felt humiliated, scared, and didn't know how to face everything that was happening. Heavy consequences. We were forced to leave the company. The meeting with the management ended with us submitting resignation letters under pressure due to the strict policies regarding workplace relationships. I lost my job, lost a work environment I loved, and was weighed down by guilt and regret. The turmoil in the relationship. After the revelation, he fell into crisis, faced a divorce demand from his wife, and his family strongly opposed the affair. I was heartbroken, feeling like the third party left behind, unsure if the relationship still had any chance. Reflection and lessons learned. Through this story, I realized every decision has consequences. Secret love can hurt many people, not just yourself. If I could do it over, I would think more carefully about the boundaries between work and personal life. Thank you for listening to my story. If you are facing a similar situation or want to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Echoes to explore more real and emotional stories with me. Thank you all for staying with me until the end of the story. Every story on Reddit Echoes is not just a personal experience, but also a profound reminder about life and relationships. If this story resonated with you, or if you have experiences you'd like to share, don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'd love to hear your stories and thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next authentic, controversial, and emotional videos from Reddit Echoes. See you in the next video, where every story is an echo of truth.